Have you ever heard a monk's chanting echoing softly through temple corridors and wondered, how can such a peaceful voice carry across valleys? Have you ever felt goosebumps when listening to sacred recitations, even if you didn't understand the language? Welcome back to the channel where ancient knowledge meets present-day awakening. I'm your host, and today we're diving into a spiritual mystery that science struggles to explain, but the soul instinctively understands. Why does the sound of Sutra recitation have such extraordinary power? And what energy lies behind a voice that can travel not only across miles of air, but deep into the human heart? To begin, let's picture a remote mountain monastery. Fog curls around pine trees, bells chime in the wind. Monk in saffron robes stands before a statue, palms pressed together, eyes closed. He begins to chant. His voice is not loud, but the sound travels over rocks, through the forest, across rivers, and somehow it reaches you. This is not poetic exaggeration. There are countless accounts from villagers living far from temples who say they can hear chanting during pre-dawn hours, even on windless days. Scientists might point to atmospheric conditions, echo patterns, or sound wave dispersion. But those who felt it know there's something more. Let's explore this sacred mystery through a story. In a mountainous village in Nepal, a young boy named Tanzan once asked his grandfather, how can Lama Pema's voice be heard all the way here when he chants in the temple? The grandfather replied, because he's not just chanting with his mouth, he's chanting with his spirit. Tanzan didn't understand then, but years later, after training as a monk himself, he realized real chanting isn't a performance. It's an alignment, merging of breath, intention, and the universal current. So, what makes the sound of Sutra recitation so unique? Begins with the breath. Monastic recitation isn't just reading aloud, it's a practice of pranayama, breath control, vocal resonance, and mantra vibration. Each syllable is intoned not casually but with sacred precision, shaped by the diaphragm, directed through the nose and sinuses, amplified by the chest cavity. The body becomes an instrument. The sutra becomes the score. The breath becomes the sacred wind. Buddhist temples, especially in traditions like Zen, Tibetan Vajrayana, and Chinese Malayalam, chants are not merely read, they are transmitted. Each word is considered a living code. When spoken with awareness, it creates a vibration that transcends ordinary sound. Why does this matter? Because in both ancient wisdom and modern physics, vibration is the foundation of reality. The Upanishads say, Ada Brahmast, a world is sound. Modern quantum physicists suggest the universe behaves like a symphony of vibrating strings. If everything is vibration, then sacred chanting is not noise, it's a tuning fork for the soul. Story from India illustrates this power vividly. In the 1800s, an English officer stationed near the Ganges River once wrote in his journal, every morning as the mist lifted, I heard a voice rising from the monastery across the river. I spoke no Sanskrit. The sound stilled my anxiety. I woke early just to listen. He didn't understand the words, but the sound changed him. This is because sacred chanting doesn't work through intellect, it works through frequency. Each syllable of a sutra is designed not only for meaning but effect. In Tibetan Buddhism, certain mantras are said to correspond to specific chakras, organs, and even emotional states. Like the famous mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum. It's not just a phrase, it's a frequency pattern. Prithvi's pride. Prithvi's jealousy. Prithvi's desire. At Prithvi's ignorance. Prithvi's greed. Prithvi's hatred. Each syllable cuts through one layer of illusion. Or imagine 1,000 monks chanting this together. Imagine those frequencies echoing through the air, touching leaves, entering your skin, resonating with your bones. It's not metaphorical, it's vibrational reality. And it goes beyond healing into ethereal space. In ancient China, temples were often placed along ley lines, geographic energy corridors. It was believed that chanting sutras in these places not only blessed the monks, but recalibrated the very land. There's a legend of a drought-stricken village that invited a revered monk to recite the Rain Sutra. No clouds in sight, they still gathered. As he chanted, wine stirred. As he reached the mantra's crescendo, clouds gathered. At nightfall, rain poured. Is this myth or miracle? Science may never verify it. But the villagers didn't need proof. It had water. The other important aspect is the intention behind the chanting. Voice filled with ego cannot carry far. But a voice emptied of self, aligned with compassion, can cross great distances. Said that the great Japanese monk Nichiren once chanted Anam-myoho Orange Kyo with such sincerity that birds paused mid-flight. In one San lineage, monks are trained for years in vocal recitation, not just to sound God, but to feel true. They're taught to chant not to impress, but to invoke. What are they invoking? Not gods, not miracles. They're invoking presence. When sutras are chanted with awareness, the veil between seen and unseen thins. You hear more than a voice. You feel the timeless echo of the Dharma. This is why even recordings of authentic chanting can calm the mind, ease insomnia, and induce meditative states. Because it's not the words, it's the resonance. Let's not forget the communal power of chanting. In many temples, group chanting creates a phenomenon called entrainment. That is, at different heartbeats, breathing rhythms, and brain waves begin to synchronize. Neuroscientists have measured this. Groups that chant together literally begin to vibrate together. This unity is not just symbolic. It's physiological, spiritual. And this is perhaps the deepest secret. Sutra chanting isn't about performance. It's about remembrance. Every soul already knows the truth. But the noise of modern life, our worries or screens or schedules, drive it out. The sound of sacred recitation is a tuning fork. It brings you back into alignment, back into presence, back into truth. Let me close with the story of a woman named Haruka. He was terminally ill in hospice care in Kyoto. Every night, her brother came and chanted the Heart Sutra softly beside her bed. He thought he was unconscious. He never responded. But on the night he passed, her lips moved with his gate paresem gate bodies faha. Those were her final words. He wept, not out of grief, but because he hadn't spoken in weeks. But the sutra was still alive in air. The voice had traveled, hot across mountains, but through life and death. And that is the real power of chanting. Hot its volume, hot its range, but its truths. It crosses distances no vehicle can. It reaches hearts no logic can. It awakens souls no language can. So next time you hear a sutra echoing through a temple, pause. Close your eyes. Rate is and not just with your ears, but with your being. That sound is not just a voice. It is an invitation. It is a reminder. It is the universe chanting back to itself. Thank you for watching this video. If this message resonated with your experience, or if you have felt the mystery of sacred sound in your own journey, share it in the comments. Let's celebrate the power of vibration together. Subscribe for more spiritual explorations, like and comment to support the channel, and join as a member if you feel called to walk this deeper path of awakening with us. And may your voice, your silence, and your breath all carry the Dharma forward.